Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today's learning objective is to apply the four operations, including formal written methods, to integers, decimals, and simple fractions, proper and improper, mixed numbers, all both positive and negative. Bit of mouthful, but we'll get into it. As usual, feel free to skip to any part of the video. Timestamps are here. Magic of editing. There we go. You still here? Cool. Okay. Quick definitions first off. Okay, four operations. Kind of what that is that kind of, ooh, I think I might pen out. Right, pen out. Change the color actually. Blue, why not? Yeah, so four operations. The four operations are stuff like addition, multiplication, and kind of with addition goes subtraction, and with multiplication goes division, right? And kind of we know the symbols, right? For addition, the symbol is the plus sign. For subtraction, it's the minus sign. For multiplication, it's the cross. But sometimes you'll actually just see it like a dot. So for example, like you can have 5.5 instead. So don't be too phased by that. So you might get this confused with a decimal point. It will be obvious kind of the difference. A lot of the time, see if it's down there, it's a decimal point, but if it's up here in the middle and like slightly larger, it's the multiplication sign. So watch out for that. And then you've got the division sign. Or sometimes you kind of have like say 5 over 12. So that's a kind of fraction. So yeah, those are the four operations. The formal written methods, those are kind of like the proper working your teacher always tells you to do. Kind of like, so with addition, you have say if they ask you to add 15 and 20, you have to do it kind of this way, like that. For example, this long addition or might be long division, long multiplication, those kind of things. Those are when it's kind of when it says show you're working, this is the kind of thing you should be doing. Integers, we covered this in the last video. Integers, decimals, and simple fractions. Quick reminder: integers, just whole numbers. Decimals, kind of in between these whole numbers. So let's go. That's a very bad line. Let's go back to our number line: 0, 1, 2. These are the integers. The decimals are kind of stuff that lie in between here. Simple fractions. So proper fractions basically are kind of fractions, but were the say 4 over 5. But if you were this is the proper fraction, because when you were to evaluate it in terms of kind of decimals, you'd get a number less than 1. And so kind of if you compare this to an improper fraction, where effectively the numerator is more than the denominator, so 5 over 4, for example, this is an improper fraction because the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. And the reason this is kind of improper is because you can actually write this as, you can actually write this as 1 1/4, right? So this is what makes it improper. So kind of these are mixed numbers, which kind of that's what this is talking about. And we know what positive and negative are. So kind of with these, like what you need to watch, the stuff you need to watch out for is kind of when it comes to these four operations, the main difficulty that students face is when these four operations are applied to fractions in particular. And the key with fractions, we'll actually see this in the question. So let's actually do the question first, and then I'll talk through it there. So question 1, back to my trusty black pen. Question 1 is to add this. Well, here we have to use our formal written methods. So we go 3, 4, 9, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 2. And then we add. Okay, 5 plus 2, 7. 5 plus 3, 8. 9 plus 2, 11. So that's more than 10, so we carry the 1. 4 plus 1 plus 1, don't forget that 1, is 6. 5 plus 3, 8. So our answer is 8, 6, 1, 8, 7. Okay, and now let's move on to this one. Question number 2. If you've seen something like this before, give it a pause, see if you can, give it a go, see what happens. But if not, let's try solving it together. Okay, so with these mixed numbers, the thing is, well, actually, let's talk about what this mixed number actually first means. 3 1/4. Well, what this is actually saying is it's 3 plus 1/4. So that's what these mixed numbers actually mean. So now this whole thing, when it's asking us to add this up, it's telling us to do 3 plus a quarter, because that's what the mixed number means, plus 3 plus a third. That's what's asking us. Well, that equals, well, let's make our lives easier by adding the 3's. 6 plus a quarter plus a third, right? Now, adding fractions is sometimes where a bit of confusion comes in. You can't kind of just add the tops and add the bottoms. That's a kind of a common mistake students sometimes make. What you need to add fractions, you need to have a common denominator for both. And in that case, if you want to make a common denominator, what you do is, so if you've got these two numbers, you times this fraction on the left by this number down here, and you times this fraction over here by the number down here. So what you'll do is you'll times the top and bottom of a quarter by 3, so it'll be 3 times by 4 over 4 times 3, which is 12, plus times top and bottom by 4 over 12, which is equal to 6 plus 7 over 12. Now that the bottoms are the same, you can just add them together, and since the bottom will stay the same, because you're dividing by a common number, you've got that. And now you can have 6 plus 7 over 12, which is, leaving it as a mixed fraction, 6 as 7 over 12. A lot of the times the question will specify how to leave it, so make sure you leave it as the question specifies. So today we kind of learned about the 4 operations, kind of especially and with a bit more care that needs to be applied when it comes to fractions. Actually, you know what? Before ending the video, let me actually do a bit of a slight extension and kind of ensure we've covered what fractions really mean. If we have a fraction like 3 over 4, what this is really saying is divide 3 by 4. 3 divided by 4. That's what a fraction is. So if we're all being asked to, what do you call it, add 3 over 4 plus, say, a half, we're being asked to do this. 3 divided by 4 plus 1 divided by 2. Now you can see why you can't just add, say, this is, of course, isn't the same thing as saying 4 divided by 6, right? You can just see how that's wrong. That's kind of ignoring our order of operations, which we'll get into a bit more in the next video. So if we do want to do this, we need to make sure that the denominators here are at the bottom are the same. So that's kind of, if it didn't make too much sense before, why I had to have these common denominators, I hope it makes a bit more sense now. Thanks very much for joining me this time around, guys. See you guys in the next video.